are at a tie match at the trial. Double gen pop to avoid the deadlock. They do go down. There is a haste status effect. They do have to be careful here. The hatch is going to spawn momentarily. Dead Hard could get them the distance to get it too.
Really smart play on the ace. Oh my god, getting shot through the window.
No longer have distortion, and they are going to teleport here. I think they get there in time. Yes!
Oh, the grab! Yes! That is disappointing. This is be a 4-man out because.
Yeah, but they will be able to block this. Yo, getting caught on that. Ace coming with the body block. Oh, they were here.
Hey, what is up, guys? It's Giltspire here, and welcome back to Champions of the Fog. And I am joined here today by Jukebox. Jukebox, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today, Gilt?
Pretty good. Cannot complain. First time having you here on Champions of the Fog. Very happy to have you here indeed.
Very excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, we are in for a treat, and as you and I were talking about earlier, it is very much a do or die situation for Petroleum in specific, as we got Petroleum versus Arctic Wolves. And the brilliant part about this is if Petroleum wins today's match, it will put them in striking distance of claiming the second spot for Group A, which Modern Retro actually just claimed the first spot earlier today.
Woo. Yeah, really exciting. These next couple of weeks are really going to decide whether Petroleum makes it into second or not and enter those playoffs. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, seriously, we have the $525 prize pool on the line, and Group A and Group B duking it out for those top two spots, and then we'll soon enough be moving into the final stage on the 28th with semifinals, so will be quite exciting indeed. And then, as I was telling you before, we're going to literally move right into qualifiers like a week or two later.
Yeah, for Season 4, it's super exciting stuff.
It's hard to believe it's already been technically 5 seasons. It'll be 4 seasons of Season 0, 1, 2, 3 completed. Like, I was reminded the other day that we are literally over a year of Champions of the Fog have been conceived. You know, a thought in my mind of, you know what, let's make my own DBD league.
It's pretty awesome. And like you said, it's crazy how fast it's going by. And I feel like this season especially, like the weeks have just been going by. It's been so much fun. They've been flying by. Every week has been such an exciting game. It's been a lot of fun.
Indeed. But with that being said, we are loaded in as we speak, and we got quite a treat. It is the Battle of the Titans. We got the Nurse and the Blight for both sets now. So we got Arctic Wolves kicking off strong with the Nurse on Gas 7, followed by Petroleum's Blight. I'm actually really curious about how Petroleum's going to manage Blight on Gas 7, since there's so much collision to keep in mind.
Yeah, there's a lot to keep in mind with Blight and Chase, but the thing about Blight on Gas 7 is the macro strategy of the camping and tunneling is super consistent for him. And so if their Blight can manage to get quick downs, it will be a very easy win.
Oh, absolutely. It'll just come down to whether or not the survivors are able to utilize the collision physics to their advantage. If they can, though, Blight will have a hard time. However, Nurse, I mean, it is always hit or miss on how a Nurse will do. It really comes down to how often the survivor team plays against Nurse.
Absolutely. Lots of strategy going into it, both in Chase and out of Chase, deciding where to run, where to go down, what gens to do. It's very important to make these little decisions.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we saw how impactful that was earlier today. I think it was Cult and Ruby Wolves, to how a nurse had one more gen completed at the very end in order to claim victory for their team on Gas Heaven. But without further ado, we are spawning right on in. We see Spider on the nurse and a corrupt intervention. Kind of an awkward spawn, but we saw there on the right a survivor in their line of sight. This is a huge, impactful start for this nurse.
Absolutely. Finding a survivor super early, super key on this map. Get that first down, camp that to second, get that tunnel out. It can be a huge benefit to your entire game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially on this map with the spawn logic being as consistent as it is. That's why I love this map 2 bits. And Nurse being right on point. Unfortunately, unable to get the hit there. Just shy of hitting the ace. And looks like Tap trying to dodge and use their environment to their advantage, and another whiff.
Little bit of movement there. Such a great little tool, that rock. Oh man, he used that so perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, between the rocks and the trees for Nurse and Twins, if you ain't environmentalists here at COTF, I don't know what you are.
Absolutely, and I'm really liking this build on the Nurse as well. You know, we see a lot of Nurses running Ruin, Pop, Thana to get that maximum slowdown, but with the map being as big as it is, I really do like seeing the Noah just in case things go south.
Yes, indeed. Keep in mind, though, that the survivors and the viewers are unable to see the perks, but I do imagine that these survivors will be keen on cleansing the totems nonetheless, as they will be hunting down Ruin sure enough. Unfortunately, though, Tap not able to get far enough away from the nurse, and we will see the first down of the game. However, with Corrupt Intervention about over, I would not be surprised to see another 1, if not 2 gens being finished in just a few moments.
Definitely. This Tap did an amazing job of dying in the correct spot on the map, right in the corner. And a gen got popped just near it, which is very huge for them, considering the Nurse no longer has a tight gen spread right there to hold on to with the hook. They did an insanely good job popping that gen.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Ace trying to get that fastball into life, I believe, to try and get the unhook. Unfortunately, no dice, as the Nurse was able to double back and pressure them off of the save. Nurse desperately trying to secure the second stage, but Ace gonna make their life quite difficult, as I feel that the Nurse will have to make a decision between the hook and the chase itself.
Yep, I do like the decision on the Nurse going for the down here, especially with the hook being as close as it is. It was a very quick chase.
Yeah, but just like that, the pressure will slip through their hands, as Lori was able to not only get the unhook, but also the body block. However, Tap using their Dead Hard prematurely just to be safe does mean that they are down an exhaustion perk.
Great little run back tech there. Lori doing an amazing job keeping this Nurse busy out in the open too. Not a lot of LOS block to work with here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing about Nurse. It really is a game of ping pong. You kind of just go back and forth determining whether you're going to hold W or double back. Nurse trying to get the down there. Unfortunately, though, slipping off the hill, unable to have it connect. And Lori bringing the Nurse to a dead zone where there is quite literally nothing for the Nurse to be over here for.
Yep, there's just the gen and the totem being over here, though, so if they can manage to get it down, they can have a hook on the totem, which can be beneficial, but just like that, just missing the down yet again, just out of reach. This Lori doing an amazing job using the environment for their advantage.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you're just able to use that little bit of hitbox and use it to your advantage and just get Nurse to be right out of range, it can be one of the most tilting experiences for any Nurse player out there, to say the least.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing worse than blinking just slightly too short and missing that swing. But just as we say that, she finally manages to get that down, and that is a very important down to be getting, as that chase was lasting quite a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see the 3 survivors already healed up and ready to go, and I imagine working on probably main and these left 2 gens. If 2 of them get complete, these survivors will be off to the races for the exit gates. And looks like Nurse is going to be checking the main building. Keep in mind, Ruin's still up, meaning that is going to be doing some work during this chase as Meg is pushed off of this initial gen.
Yep, super important to be pressuring the gens right now, especially with there being only 2 remaining. They really need to make these chases quick, and they need to make them count. They need to get as many stages before endgame hits. Oh, amazing power stun from the Meg there.
Yeah, great job to say the least. Stunning a nurse, not all too easy, but Meg making it look flawless, and Meg once again just holding W for the win. And we do see the 4th gen popping off here for Petroleum Survivor Team.
Meg doing an amazing job keeping the nurse busy here. With the gens being as pressured as they are, I do like this choice from the nurse to try to get as many stages as they can, but this chase needs to be a little bit shorter. It's lasting too long.
Yeah, on the bright side, though, I will say this gen was very much near completion. Ruin still being up means that it is all but ticking down. And with that flashlight click, Meg knows full well that they have the attention of the nurse and are not willing to give it up. And Meg just looping this nurse far and far away from their intended point. But nurse, really good heads-up play there. Hearing the tap in the main building will end up getting the down.
That's a very, very, very important down to be getting at this point. Getting this hook near this gen that's being regressed as we speak is very, very good for the nurse here. And as long as she can pressure some of the other gens, we may be seeing a lot more stages than she should have been managing.
Yeah, absolutely. We even see some scratch marks there moving away from the middle. However, with 2 survivors that were kind of out and about working on gens, and meanwhile, I do fear that either the corner gen or the gen over where the nurse is now is going to be completed. And sure enough, there it is, the 5th generator. And as you said earlier, there is the haste status effect, and no ed is in play.
Looks like these survivors were not cleansing those dual totems, focusing the gens instead, and that is going to cost them dearly.
Yeah, especially here as this is a down directly next to a hook. However, there is a cleanse, and that is Noed out of the game. But if they're able to get to the hook fast enough, they might be able to get a 2K here at the very least.
Looking like broken status effect, a renewal off hook, and with Noed being gone, if they can get this down before he heals, it looks like they're dropping and going for the Meg instead. They got a nice fresh hook on the Ace earlier, looking like a deliverance came into play there, and we now have an exit gate open, and this is going to be really tight.
Yeah, Meg not near that open exit gate though, so Meg will end up going down. I do believe that Meg is fresh, and with deliverance out of the game, this will mean that the survivors are going to have to come in with 2 BTs in order to get a 4-man out.
Absolutely, and hooking very far away from the exit gates. The survivors might just do better by leaving here, but we'll see what they decide on doing.
Yeah, only time will tell. I think the biggest thing is here that with the exit gate that is open, being as far away as it is, the nurse could theoretically go through the car pile here and pressure the exit gate on the right to ensure that they do not open it, making that journey to the other side that much more treacherous. But it looks like with one person leaving, I do think that these survivors are going to leave this Meg for dead.
It's a 7-stage game for this nurse, and with the rough little mid-game that she had, she really pulled that off well.
Indeed, indeed. So that is a 1K7 hook. Could have definitely been a whole lot worse based on how the beginning and middle of that trial went. But Nurse bringing it back, and I do believe this is going to be a very close set number 1.
Very exciting.
Indeed, indeed. But with that being said, we are going to be setting up the lobby for trial number 2. This time, Petroleum will be killing, and they are going to be bringing the Blight. But before we do go on break, I do want to remind everyone here that here at Champions of the Fog, we do not have a sponsor. So you, yes, you, our viewers, are our sponsor. So all of the ads that you'll watch, all the bits that you tip, all the subs that you buy, all go towards the production of Champions of the Fog. So with that being said, thank you very much, and we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, and we are back. This time, Petroleum killing against Arctic Wolves. 15 points for Petroleum and 17 Arctic Wolves. So Arctic Wolves did a fantastic job of bringing back that last trial with a 2-point lead as they go into Survivor against Petroleum's Blight.
Yeah, and with the game being as close as it is, and with a killer like Blight, I mean, both teams are going to have to play incredibly well if they want to secure this win.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. It really is going to come down to who knows how to play against which killer better, and we will be able to find out shortly as we are spawning on in, and the Blight with the Blighted Crow as well as the Rat. We'll be seeing the Speedy Boy Blight today.
Absolutely. It looks like he knows spawn points very well, and he's already getting a first hit, catching this Nancy off guard. Incredible start.
Yeah, less than 15 seconds pass. Blight with initial hit in a great position. If they're able to secure this first down right here now at this LT wall, it will spell disaster for this Survivor team. However, Nancy doing a pretty good job here so far. Blight slipping, sliding off the rock, unable to get the bounce, trying to line up the hit and unsuccessfully doing so.
Showing just what you were saying earlier about Gas Haven and Auto Haven maps being a little bit inconsistent with the collision logic. It's just really unfortunate to see that.
Yeah, it is indeed, but Blight trying to make the best of it. We see the crows going off in here. We see Nancy trying to stay behind that hook, but unfortunately getting faked out, and that'll be the first down within the first minute of the match. So a beautiful play there by the Blight, and that there is a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance.
Brutal to see that Pain Resonance on a killer with high mobility and quick chases like Blight. Very scary to play against.
Yeah, not to mention that these survivors are also keenly aware of Thanatophobia, slowing down the generators by a whopping 5% right now.
And we see there the pop goes the Weasel. They're now aware of every perk in the trial. They know there's no end game they have to worry about. They just have to make this early game and mid game count.
Indeed, indeed. And I mean, the Blight right now, they are looking to get a 2K8 hook in order to secure a win, and a 2K, actually not even 2K, a 1K7 hook in order to tie. So they know the win condition are going for it as we speak. We hear the vault from the Nancy, no fake out, and that will be the down.
Very excellent play here from the Blight to tunnel. As I mentioned earlier about this map, the tunneling on this map can be absolutely brutal for the survivors to handle, and with no decisive strike here, this Blight knows that this is a free tunnel to take, and this is looking pretty grim for Arctic Wolves.
Yeah, unless we see a potential for a For the People play to extend chase in some way, shape, or form, it is going to be quite difficult for these survivors to make heads or tails of this situation. Speaking of, though, Blight finding the blood trail of the ace, opting, however, to disengage the chase and instead kind of proxy this hook. As you said, more likely not going for the tunnel plan.
Absolutely, and finding this gen close to finished with their pop, like, ready to go, and they find someone on the gen as well. If they can get this down here, this could pretty much be the win. These survivors have to be very careful about how they approach this.
Absolutely, and Blight making sure to use every resource available to them, getting the pop goes the Weasel on that gen, a total of 20 seconds of regression. Nia trying to get back to that gen to get it to stop regressing, but Blight not giving them any room to breathe. And now Jeff taking it as well. That's now all 4 survivors injured and or on the hook, meaning that these gens are slowed down by a full 20%.
It's incredible. And also, this timer's going kind of slow on the hook. Is that a possible camaraderie, maybe?
Yeah, it does look like that possibility. I definitely was thinking about myself that they had possibly had kinship available to them. But with that being said, it looks like Ace will get the unhook, saving the Nancy. Blight, though, going for the tunnel out, getting the body block out of the way. Unfortunately, though, Jeff is going to either have to sacrifice himself or do something to stop this Nancy from going down.
Just unfortunate seeing the Nancy go down so soon at 5 generators. Absolutely incredible from the Blight, and as long as this isn't a DS, and it's not, this is looking pretty bad. A kill, just as I say that, it's the gens popping at 4 generators. These survivors have to work overtime to make this work.
Yeah, I mean, with the Scourge Hook 2, Scourge Hook, Pop, the Natophobia, 3 survivors remaining. Like, what do you do in this moment?
Especially with everyone being injured, this Blake can literally take any chase he wants, and it's going to be so much pressure for them to handle. Their best bet is to just crank these gens out as fast as they possibly can.
Yeah, especially as we do see the down there on the Nia. As we said earlier, they are looking for a 2K8 hook to secure the victory, and they are well on their way for the 2K as we speak.
Absolutely, and getting this hook here near this gen that had so much progress, it's regressed so far now thanks to these perks. Going to the middle, looking for another survivor, just trying to get as many stages as they can to secure that win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see these gens just regress, and these survivors had so much progress on them. It's just such a hard and difficult position to come back from at this point in time, and Blight just making use of every single bit of information available to them. However, survivors do end up getting the unhook on the Nia in the meanwhile, and Blight going for the ace instead of the Nia as we speak. And ace, was that a sprint burst?
Looked like something. Looked like a sprint burst to me.
Yeah, definitely got a little bit of distance that I wasn't expecting. However, Blight with the pallet shred, and Ace kind of caught out here. However, with that opening that the Blight made, Ace does have a few outs. However, unable to make use of them, will take a hit at the main building.
Absolutely. Seeing this Ace just trying to use this main building to last as long as he can. They know that they need these chases to count, but just as I said that, he does go down. Hopefully a gen was being worked on this whole time because we could potentially see one getting done, but this is going to be a 5th stage for the Blight. Only 3 more to go to secure that victory.
Yeah, and if you look here, this gen, which had a ton of progression, now about dead. And based on the way this Blight is moving, I get a feeling that there is a Scourge Hook. And sure enough, the generator far away is now regressed by 15%. And, however, a Deliverance in play.
It's pretty huge for the survivors to relieve a lot of the pressure that killer can go back and tunnel that, but I'm not sure if that's what they want to do right now. They seem to have found someone on this generator, looking to see if they can get this down.
Yeah, trying to go for a hug tech here, and Nia kind of seeing it, trying to get out of dodge. Unfortunately, not able to avoid the incoming lethal rush, will be downed, and Blight trying to get to another Scourge Hook, really trying to make use of every single perk at their disposal.
Yeah, they're doing a great job using all these perks to slow down the survivors as much as they can. This is going to be the 6th hook of the game, and this is looking pretty grave for the survivors of Arctic Wolves.
Yeah, not a lot of options here. It will come down to these survivors playing out of their mind, Blight committing to long chases for them to try and drag this back in their favor. If I'm Arctic Wolves in this position, it really comes down to just trying to stop the bleeding and to get enough points in this set to put them in an advantageous position for set number 2 and the match point.
Very good hug tech there, getting the connection onto the Jeff. Jeff is fresh hook here, so this could be potentially really bad for Arctic Wolves. He has to make this chase count, making this chase last as long as possible, get these gens done, but at the TNL wall, this could be dangerous.
Yeah, heck, trying to get the hug tech there, seeing the Jeff move to the other side of the T-wall will get the down. So this here could alone be the end of this match if they decide to camp out. However, 3 gens remaining and a ton of gen regression at their disposal. I get a sense that they're going to go out on the prowl for another chase.
Yep, especially with both other survivors being injured, one more down will secure this win, and so they're just going to try to find one. And just as I say that, they find one. They just need to get this down to secure this win.
Yeah, I mean, Scourge Hook Pain Resonance is just a wealth of information. Even if you don't see the survivor screams, you know the most progressed gen, you know a survivor's over there. I mean, I was thinking about the other day, I think just Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, a better Tinker at this point.
I can understand why you're saying that, absolutely. And he gets this down, and with this hook coming into play, that secures the set win, but to win the whole match, there's still more points to be had, so Arctic Wolves can try to get as many as they can here.
Yeah, it just comes down to committing to probably like opposite corner gens, if at all possible. However, we kind of see that they already cleared those generators out, and with Blight seeing those scratch marks from afar at the car pile, they will be able to identify the relative location of a survivor.
Looks like they were unable to find someone following the scratches, but they might just go back, and we'll see if they go for a tunnel or for the one that rescued here.
And looks like they will be going for the Nia. I mean, at this point in time, Blight really does have many options available to him. I think after that first kill, Blight can kind of just go for whoever he wants. And with that quick down on the Nia and another Scourge Hook Pain Resonance incoming, I mean, these gens have to be at little to no progress on them.
Yeah, the Blight's doing an amazing job of making sure these gens do not get done. Trying to deny Arctic Wolves as many points as possible to secure a match win overall, and it's going pretty well for Petroleum, I must say.
Yeah, absolutely. Blight taking a swing there, unable to get the hit on Spider the Ace. But with this chase being at an LT, well, unless Ace is able to do something quick, it will end shortly. And sure enough, there is the Ace on the ground.
Pretty sure this Ace is on Deathhook now, so this Blight's probably going to hook this and run straight to the hatch.
Yeah, I think though, you know, Blight's still like, oh, I want to make sure they do not do any more gens. Let's get them to another Scourge Hook. You know, you can always tell when they have Scourge Hook. Like, no, I'm not going to go to that hook. I want to go to this hook.
Yeah, you can always tell, especially on Survivor side. If a killer passes by a hook, you can call that out early.
Indeed, indeed, but Blight potentially forgetting about the hatch. This Survivor primed and ready for the escape. Jeff will get out, and that is 2 hooks denied on the Blight, and Jeff getting a few extra points for their Survivor team.
That's absolutely crucial for the overall match, and we still have one more map to go, though.
We do indeed. With the end of trial number 1, we are going to be jumping right into trial number 2. Petroleum killing again, this time on the suffocation pit with the nurse. But before we do jump into that trial, we are going to take a quick break. As a reminder, guys, we are partnered with Stream for a Cause. Stream for a Cause is a nonprofit organization based here in the United States who support a litany of different causes, including Going Green, the LGBTQA+ community, refugees in Ukraine, and a whole lot more. So if you guys have the ability to, please feel free to donate even $1 to Champions for a Cause, our fundraiser that we spun up with them. And do know that your donations also will impact the prize pool of Championship in December, where the best of Chains of Fog will duke it out for the grand prize. But with that being said, we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, and we are back for trial number 3. And we are going to be seeing Heck kill against Arctic Wolf Survivor Team. And we are going to be seeing a nurse on the Suffocation Pit.
Very good choice of killer for this map. Nurse is absolutely dominant on this map if played correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. But that middle area, if you can use that obstacle to your advantage, it will be quite devastating indeed. But with that being said, we have loaded on in, and it is Heck over on the main side. Corrupt Zone is not bad and a good 4-gen here, I believe. So I imagine this will be the side that they really hold down.
Yep, this will be the old Nurse's stomping grounds, holding that choke and making sure survivors can't get those gens done.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, kind of looking at the middle area, survivors are not yet spotted, potentially trying to wait out this corrupt intervention, and Heck checking the basement to boot to ensure they are not hiding down here either. And sure enough, first locker empty, door number 2, nothing behind there. And looks like they're going to be heading back towards the main area. And sure enough, they land right on top of some scratch marks.
Right, we'll see who they find here, and if this is a good first engagement to take. We'll see the positioning of the survivor, and if the chase will be good. Whiffing. Good start to the chase for the survivors. Just got to take him down bottom side and hope for the best here. Looks like he's dropping, though.
Yeah, looks like they're going to be opting to check the generators. They did kind of step away for just a moment, so definitely a good idea. And sure enough, here is a survivor, the Jeff, trying to get some distance. I imagine they're going to make a beeline straight to the shack. And with that, Jeff has a life and not enough distance. Unfortunately, Nurse whiffing on the second blink strike.
Very good from the Jeff here, utilizing his exhaustion perk to make sure he gets to the right side of the map. It's absolutely critical that you die in the correct places on this map versus a Nurse. Just like that going down in the 3-gen, the corrupted 3-gen. There's still a 4-gen top, though. We'll see how the Nurse can play around this.
Indeed, indeed, and with that, this will be a hook in the corrupt zone. I mean, theoretically speaking, if we wanted to see it, the Nurse could potentially camp out this area instead, as corrupt is just about to end, but looks like they're going to prioritize the 4-gen, and with that Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, they know exactly where they need to go.
I imagine these survivors are having flashbacks, seeing both the Thana and the Scourge Hook, and now seeing the pop. They know they're dealing with the same build they had to deal with the Blight, and so they're going to have to adjust their strategy accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Crow's going off, though. Looks like they might be back on this gen here. Nurse doing a cursory glance, though, and no dice. Looks like these survivors are still back here trying to wait out the Nurse, seeing if she will stick in the main area or go elsewhere. Looks like Nurse is going to disengage from that proxy. Instead, go back for the heal on the Jeff. Nancy trying to do a light burn, but baiting out the sprint burst. Amazing play there.
Unfortunate drop of the pallet there, but a bit of a mistime. But these survivors are doing a fantastic job making sure that the Nurse does not know their location and working on the 4-gen so sneakily like that and forcing the Nurse to go to the side of the map they want her to go to. Really, really well played on the survivors' part here.
Yeah, absolutely. A blind blink strike there, getting it down on the Nancy. Quite surprised indeed. Unfortunately, Nancy just not able to get the light burn. However, the 1st-gen has been completed, and that is over there on the main side. So Nurse now has to make a decision. Do they protect the 3-gen on shack or on main?
Yeah, and with the hook being here, I'm going to assume they try to hold the choke bottom side, but looks like they might be going top to look for the people working on that gen that just got scourged.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to regress the generator by a whopping 40%, I would say, why not Nurse those? Seeing scratch marks going through the middle, trying to defy where they led to, and there is both the Jeff and the Ace, both off of generators as we speak. A very good find, and Nurse saying, you know what, why not? Why shouldn't I pop that gen to death?
Yeah, make sure there's no pressure bottom side, because this looks like the area that they want to be holding for now. And we saw off in the distance the Nancy with the Deliverance, which is going to be a huge, relief for the survivors, removing some of that pressure, willingly going down defending this Jeff. So I think we all know what perk might be sitting there.
It could be, however, it could be a bit of a mind game. We could see a Unbreakable from the Nancy as well, potentially.
Absolutely. Either one of those perks could be absolutely critical for some extra pressure here for the survivors. Getting the hit bottom side, this Nia is caught out and needs to make a top side. Is that overcome?
It looked like it was indeed, but not enough distance to evade the nurse.
Yep, keeping the survivors bottom side, saying you're not going anywhere. Hooking in the middle, kind of an interesting hook to have. Perhaps maybe they were going for a Scourge.
Yeah, looks like a Scourge, not to mention close by to the Nancy, whose broken status effect has all but ended. So if there was Decisive Strike, there is no longer. And Nurse seen that and will get the down for the tunnel out.
Very quick chase there on the injured survivor, just caught there, and now another hook, and we'll see if it's another Scourge or not, but the pressure on these gens needs to be faster. This Nurse doing an amazing job of slowing them down with the number of downs they're getting for their pop and Scourge hook, as well as the triple stack of Thanatophobia right now, slowing those gens down by 15%.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, at the beginning, it seemed a bit dicey, but Nurse really reeled it back in. This gen over here had the most progress. I want to point that out, that gen is nigh worked on, maybe less than a cylinder going, which means that all the rest of the gens on this map are just gone.
Yeah, they're really trying to heal here and relieve the pressure, but they're letting those gens slip. And for good reason, too. This Nurse is doing a fantastic job defending these gens and making sure that these survivors do not get them done. Trying to get that really fast 4K.
Yeah, absolutely. With 2 gens completed, these survivors are going to need to do something quick in order to get at least, I would say, 2 more gens at the very least. And a wicked late grab there. The grab validation falling in the Nurse's favor. That is a huge and unprecedented play, to say the least.
And say the survivors were expecting that one, and that is going to put a huge dent in whatever plans they had in mind. That's a fresh hook, too. That's worth 3 points.
Indeed, a Deliverance gone as well. This is going to be a huge play by the Nurse. Nurse, though, trying to identify where the Nancy has gone. I believe they are wanting to go for the kill at this point in time.
Yeah, looking for that quick tunnel out, putting it into a 3v1 at 3 gens would be absolutely critical for this Nurse's win. Although they do have enough pressure that it wouldn't be the end of the world if they went for another survivor here.
Yeah, indeed. But they see the Nancy, and that there will be the down. Given that Pop Goes Weasel is all but expired on that last hook, I do believe the Decisive Strike is also gone, but no!
No, that Decisive Strike on the Deliverance that we sometimes see, and the Nancy trying to keep as much time as they can away from the Nurse, just perfectly using that light burn tactic to keep the Nurse at bay. They need to extend this chase and get these gens done. Unfortunate that she goes down there, but that was a decent amount of time bought from both the DS and the little light burn there. Maybe we see a gen pop here.
Yeah, and these survivors desperately need it, as I believe the Nurse is once again going to another Scourge Hook Pain Resonance for another 15% regression, and sure enough, this will tell the Nurse exactly where these survivors are, and with 2 out of the 3 remaining injured, this is going to be easy pickings for the Nurse.
Yeah, these survivors really need to take this slow, try to reset and approach this again. If this Nurse finds these survivors healing, or worse yet, find these survivors not healing, they might be able to get a quick down.
And we do not see any scratch marks moving away from that gen. We see the Nia. I think this is bait, though. Either ways now, each survivor is injured, meaning that the Thanatophobia going to be slowing down these gens by a whopping 15%, and Nia trying to bring the Nurse farther away into the main building, but Nurse potentially going to make quick work of her here.
Yep, at the Z-wall. We know all the juicing happens at the Z-wall. 360ing the Nurse. Nurse standing still in defeat there, catching their breath a little bit, and they're back to the races with that one.
I
really
feel
far up the map here.
I feel the rage in that moment, just like kind of just stopping, going, you know what? All right, fair enough.
Quick mental reset before you keep going. Another gen popping. They're somehow bringing this pressure back. The survivors of Arctic Wolves are doing an amazing job trying to keep this game going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was looking grim for some time there. Still is in some ways, but if they're able to get another gen, that very much could set up their Blight for victory in set number 2.
Yep. This Nurse just needs to find another survivor to keep this pressure going. Looks like this gen does not have a lot of progress, and with that Pop Goes the Weasel, it's going to be a lot less.
Yeah, another 20 seconds off that gen in the blink of an eye, and it does not appear that the nurse is going to be giving up this hook anytime soon. The thing is, though, with the way that these gens are split, the nurse is going to have to be very careful, because if these survivors are smart, they're going to realize that these gens are worth more than their lives.
Yeah, with Suffocation Pit being the size it is, you really need to hold those 3 gens, and once those are gone, it becomes pretty big to deal with as killer. This nurse, though, checking the gens, making sure that nothing's getting worked on.
And as we see 2 sets of scratch marks there, 2 blood pools. The nurse trying to track down who is where and where they have gone. And I want to say this might be the Nia that the nurse is tracking, and sure enough it is. The question is, will the Nia have enough time spent out here that these last 2 survivors are able to get the 5th gem?
Yep, and with Skarchuk being in play, these survivors better be doubling and finishing this gen now, because if this hook right here is a Skarchuk, this could spell disaster.
And sure enough, it is. And if these survivors have touched the gen thereafter as well, Pop Goes Weasel coming in, and unfortunately, if you look at the progress of that gen, it was all for naught, as it has barely any progression. And there's not even feeling like they need to go for the pop.
Yeah, you don't even need to here with both survivors being injured. The Dead Heart coming out, but waiting it out and getting the down. This is really unfortunate for Arctic Wolves. A lot more pressure hands with the killer in a 1v2 situation. Both injured with 1 gen remaining and no gen pressure. This is all but over for the survivors.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to, can they get another hatch escape? We saw it from the Jeff once before. Will we see it again? And looks like Nurse going to the other side of the map. If, in the instance, Jeff is on the hatch already and is primed for the hatch escape, I think that they could potentially get this.
Absolutely, especially with the Nurse being all the way topside. If this hook death comes soon enough, they might be able to get the Jeff, who, funnily enough, was the first survivor in the first game to get out the hatch as well.
Indeed, indeed, but with no suicide coming from the ace, it looks like that will not be the case. It could be that they're trying to get that last gen instead for the final 2 points, but Nurse over here prepped and waiting, not going to make the same mistake twice.
Yep. Checking the lockers to make sure no one's waiting by hatch, although I think Arctic Wolves might have a different strategy in mind. Their survivor is not near the hatch, and so they might be playing for exit gates here, and with there being no end game that they know of, they might be able to pull this off, depending on where the gates spawn.
Yeah, unfortunately though, looks like the gen will not be completed in time before the hatch is closed. So it now comes all down to these exit gate locations, and things are looking a bit grim.
A little bit, but you never know. If the Nurse checks the wrong door first, it could potentially mean that the other one gets opened. With these doors being all the way top side of the map and the hatch being all the way bottom, this could be an escape for Arctic Wolves.
Yeah, definitely is not outside the realm of possibility. Nurse doing a quick glance over there. I don't think they saw any red lights, and sure enough,
wow.
That is the escape. I was like, wait 1 second. I didn't even hear anything, but hatch was already closed, so EGC was already started.
Yep.
And I guess just Arctic Wolves were able to slip out just like that. Jeff getting another escape, which could be a deciding factor here in set number 2.
Absolutely. Very excited to see what Arctic Wolves Blight does to secure this possible win for them.
Indeed, indeed. But with that being said, we are going to get the lobby set up for Arctic Wolves Killer. As we said earlier, it is going to be the Blight on the Suffocation Pit. But before we do that, we are going to go on a quick break. As a reminder, and I said it earlier, I'll say it again, you guys here are our biggest supporters, so thank you all for sticking through all the ads, tipping bits, and buy-in subs alike. It all goes to the production of Champs of the Fog, as well as the $525 prize pool that we have for these competitors today. But with that being said, we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, we are back for the final trial of Petroleum versus Arctic Wolves. And though it does not look like Arctic Wolves will be able to get the match point today, they are still in striking distance of the set point for set number 2. And with the Blight, as we were saying earlier, Blight can put down a whole lot of pressure very quickly. So what are you thinking here, Jukebox?
I'm thinking that this is going to be an extremely difficult game for Arctic Wolves, but if they play out of their minds and at their absolute best, I think that they could secure the set point here.
Yeah, especially with that escape from Jeff, you know, though they did not get that 5th generator, they're still able to get 3 additional points. So basically you got the 5th generator plus a freebie. So realistically speaking, if we're kind of looking at things here, the Blight is going to need to be able to get a 3K at the very least. And then we have some additional math here and there, probably a few hooks in between before... actually, I guess it'd be at 5 gens for the tie. But we'll have to wait and see as we do see the Blight piloted by Spider once again.
Yep, and we see the add-ons here being Compound and Bladed Crow. They're going to go for a more information-based build and try to find these survivors early and get them down quickly in chase.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense, especially in this main area as well as the middle, where having that information, especially in the loops, can really come in clutch. However, Survivor's doing a great job so far of keeping themselves hidden. Blight unable to find them either on Compound or via line of sight.
Yeah, you know, it is always possible for the survivors to spawn in weird places, but just as I say that, there is someone coming down from the top here, and we'll see if this is going to be an early hit or not.
So far,
Ace
not looking like it, as Ace held that corner well.
Yeah, extremely well, and, you know, with the survivors not knowing about the Compound as of right now, they're going to have to worry about whether the Blight can see them or not, and, you know, mind games are going to be kind of tricky on the survivor part.
Indeed, indeed. However, these survivors making quick work of this generator, already almost finished. They have wasted no time at all.
Yep, it would appear as if the survivors did spawn down here, which would explain why Spider could not find anyone topside. This gen with a lot of pressure, he really needs this down.
Yeah, it needs to happen ASAP, but Meg making good work of those loops, and looks like Lori already healed up to boot. The Blight is in a bit of a pickle for sure, and I do assume that gen will be popping off in just a few moments.
Yep, getting this hit, really, really crucial. If they can get this hit to come and get this down with there being all their tokens back in just a second, we'll see how this goes. Looks like that gen pops. Vaulting into the killer is able to get that down, but unfortunately losing both gens on the side of the map. We'll probably be seeing this killer trying to take her topside.
Yeah, it would make the most sense, unfortunately, for the killer. Looks like they're looking for hooks. Unfortunately, none towards that area, and are not able to get them into their 3 or 4 gen. However, Compound giving them some good information. They do see the ace there, and that there will be a hit.
Yep, I think they also spotted a survivor going for the pull here, so they're going to try to interrupt that. But they need to take these survivors topside because they have a pretty decent 4 gen up there, which is going to be their best chance of winning.
No doubt, no doubt. Tap going for the vault, though. Unfortunately, not able to get in time, and that is now 3 survivors injured and or on the hook. So Thanatophobia will slow them down by 15%.
Yep, and catching the survivor going for the save here is going to be crucial because they might even be able to secure second. But just as I say that, Caster's Curse getting the pull here, and we'll see if we find 2 injured survivors or a healthy and an injured.
And Compound trying to get some information here, not able to have it happen in time for the chase. Tap there, though, still injured, and Blight trying to box them out as they are approaching Shack once again.
Yeah, these survivors, though, keeping the Blight away from their gens, this could be pretty detrimental to the Blight if they don't get this down quickly. Chances are there are survivors working topside, they realize that, and they're heading up there to see if they can interrupt these gens.
Yeah, indeed. Unfortunate that they were not able to get the down on the tap as quickly as they could. However, they have found the ace. Ace dropping the pallet, making good work of that loop. A bit of a vault, though, could have been a mistake as they've almost vaulted into the Blight. Blight taking a swing and a miss on the bait.
Yeah, this loop is really dangerous, but just as I said that he is able to bait another swing here and breaking the pallet, this ace is going to get distance to the middle.
Yeah, I mean, that is just unfortunate as Ace was just using the geometry to AT. However, Compound coming in, Lori unable to get the body block, and that'll be the down on the Ace. This is what the Blight needed.
Yeah, another gen poppings, but they still have a 3-gen to hold up here. Ace crawling away a little bit, losing him a little bit there. But, you know, with the correct hook, this could bring it back. Hooking closer to the bottom side, though, they have another idea in mind.
Yeah, looking like it is a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. And unfortunately for them, it is possible that their Scourge Hooks may have just spawned in some less than favorable locations, to say the least. Lori, though, faking out the Blight. We will see that on the compound. Blight is going to be getting the hit here in just one moment on the Lori.
Yeah, taking that hit, making distance bottom side, as I stated in the nurse game. Dying in the right locations is key on maps like these, and these survivors know that.
Yeah, indeed, indeed, and there is the compound doing its thing. Unfortunately, Lori holding the right corner and holding it well. Blight just unable to get the hit, and with the pallet still up, will eat the stun too.
Yeah, and that gen that they had Scourge was pretty close, so if there's a survivor working on it now, they could potentially lose it here, which would break up their 3-gen. Ace was working on it, couldn't quite finish it. We'll see if the Blight's able to get it down up on top side here.
Yeah, not to mention we have not seen anything about that gen in the back, so we'll hear in a moment whether or not it has any progress. Does not appear to be so at first moment, but Ace taking the hit, and now if they're able to get the down here on top side, this could be huge.
Yeah, dropping Chase and checking these gens, they know they can't let any more pop. Oh no, not dropping Chase, I'm sorry. Downing the Ace, top side. This could be exactly what Spider needed to bring this game back.
Now the question is whether or not these fires are going to be able to come on in and get these gens, but with this hook right next to this nearly completed gen, this is a huge, huge moment for the Blight. However, the most progressed gen is not the one next to them, but the one behind the main building.
Yep. These survivors wasting no time getting this free hit on the Meg and kicking this gen. Survivors are aware of that. Pop goes to the Weasel. Gen pops bottom side, so now these survivors are going to focus all of their efforts on these 3 gens up on the main side.
And with 4 survivors still remaining, it's going to be difficult. Ace with the sprint burst, able to get just far enough away. 2 survivors trying to jam out that gen. They know what the win condition is. Lori taking a hit, but Tap is going to be pressuring that gen if you go for the chase.
Yep, Spider's in a bit of a tough spot here. It's going to take a lot to get this back, but he is getting that injury pressure, stacking the Thanatophobia, and causing the survivors to have to reset. They cannot pressure these gens injured. They would risk going down in the 3-gen here. We'll see how the survivors approach this.
We see that right here with the Lori. Lori trying to get some distance away. However, there's another gen complete, the one behind the main building. They must have gotten it back up after the pop goes Weasel, and with that adrenaline, Blight losing all of their chase pressure. This time, though, Ace not taking it down at the pallet.
Looking pretty grim for Arctic Wolves. They needed that down, but that adrenaline play was absolutely crucial for the survivors. They have to just commit to a chase and get as many points as they can, but, you know, those gates are going to get worked on.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there are no endgame perks here. No way out, no Noed, no Rancor at your disposal, and Ace juicing this Blight out of his mind at the Z-Wall.
Yep, holding his own here, but it doesn't even matter anymore. The survivors taking their outs is going to secure that win for Petroleum.
Yep, and this will just be the final chase of the match. We'll see if the Ace is able to get the escape or not. Ace trying his best to fake out the Blight to gain some distance in some way, shape, or form. Another whiff from the Blight. Going back into main for the mid-vault fake. Not happened, though. Blight knowing better this time around, and that will be the down on the Ace to end the game.
Yeah, really unfortunate to see. The survivors played this game out of their minds. The game started with a great spawn for the survivors, able to pressure that gen at the bottom immediately, and this Blight was having a hard time just holding these generators. These survivors just cranking on them so hard. Really well played by Petroleum.
Indeed, indeed. And with that being said, Petroleum will take set number 1, set number 2, and the match point for the 3-point win. So GG, well played to both teams, and congratulations to Petroleum.
Yeah, GG's well played from both sides here. Exciting matches.
Indeed, indeed. But with that being said, that there is going to be the end of today's matches. However, before we go, as always, we want to show our love to our co-host, Jukebox. Where would everyone find you next time you go live?
I am on Twitch, JukeboxDBD. I stream semi-consistently. I'm taking a bit of a break right now, but I will be back to the swing of things. and I play a variety of killers and survivors, as well as comp DBD and scrims over there.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you even on your break stopping on in and co-hosting with us today. Hopefully we'll see you back again in the near future.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. But with that being said, guys, I am your Commissioner Giltspire. I am an educational streamer here to teach you how to play Magic the Gathering, no-hit runs in Elden Ring, and of course, Dead by Daylight. But with that being said, we will be back next week, Saturday at 12 p.m. CST to finish up round number 6. On that note, guys, we'll see you then. Bye-bye!